Good morning. Dog Walk Diaries, episode 73. What's on my mind today? Well, actually, it's a replaying of a conversation that I had last week with somebody I went to college with. We catch up periodically and see how each other's going. Work, family, all the good stuff. And what's been going on in my head is he was involved with another co-founder in a technology product quite recently, last few years, and it was in the learning space. And they got version 1, and it did what it said on the tin. It performed some great things where it gave you ingested content and it gave you a learning pathway and learning outcome to learn that content aligned to your styles, behavioral styles, underpinned with a lot of NLP and various things. And then sort of the challenge between the visionary and the engineer and the tech was, hey, I see these things coming, agentic AI. I think we should do something around there. And so then took the next 7 months developing a second version of the product. And in that time, in essence, the product took a step back in, it got more complicated, the value it provided seemed a little bit looser, and the big thing, Google came out and pretty much replicated what their whole proposition was in one fell swoop. And it went from something that was very unique, good value proposition, could solve some challenges, had a space in the market, to then let's add more tech and features into it, and a big player has come along and essentially wiped out their opportunity and value proposition. Now, the things that I'm reflecting about here are timing. So what if in that first version they went forward and potentially could have launched earlier with that first proposition and maybe could have even sold it to one of the big ones, to Google, for example. Get it out there in the market versus over-engineering, equally optimizing for enterprise, high levels of security. All of these things resonated with me and some of our development path as well, when, to be honest, they'd not even solved it for one person, not even put it out there in the world to see how it lands. And it is that balance between launching something when it's not really ready and co-developing with your market to know it's got to be all fully developed, fully functional, perhaps mindset of the past. And they've now dissolved that company and looking at new things, new stuff that will show up. He's gone and got a contract with another firm and is working gig work. So it makes me think a lot about timing, about products, about how we launch our products, and the balance between getting things out there in the market and over-engineering to try and anticipate what's coming next. It made me think about our AI coach. It was in our original deck in 2017, 2018, part of our vision, and it's only been later in this year that we've been putting this out in the world in a form in which people can actually interact and use it. So, don't know whether it's right or wrong that it took us that long. The ambition in me says it should have been sooner, should have been quicker. It's always a frustration, never fast enough, never big enough for the entrepreneur. But in other points, perhaps all things happen at the right time. So thanks for listening. No, it's a bit longer one today. My thoughts reveal themselves as I go. All right, until tomorrow. Thank you. Bye-bye.